Thinking about switching from your Samsung phone to a non-Android phone like the iPhone? Before you do that, there are some things you should know about because there are some features on your Samsung phone you are probably using every single day without even realizing. And the moment they're gone, you definitely notice them. So in today's video, I will be showing you the biggest Samsung features you probably miss the day you decide to do that switch. So welcome back to the Doitright Tech channel where I take you through everything tech, and in today's video we are looking at some Samsung features that many people only appreciate after switching to a non-Android phone like the iPhone. Now before anyone starts debating in the comment section, let me say this. There are definitely few things Apple does really well. For example, the app lock. It gives you easy way to secure individual applications, and if you're definitely invested in the Apple ecosystem, the way the Apple devices work together is genuinely impressive. But Samsung has its own strengths too. For example, instead of locking one single application, Samsung gives you the secure folder, where you are able to secure applications, photos, videos, files, notes, documents, and even the entire separate version of applications behind a secured space. So every platform has features it does really well. This video is not me saying one is better than the other. It's simply about Samsung features you'll mostly miss the day you decide to leave. But without wasting much time, let's dive right into the video. But don't forget to hit the like, smash the subscribe button to come back for more, and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss out on any video that I post. On that note, let's go. So the first feature there is the Samsung Clipboard history. Now, most people think the clipboard is only for copying and pasting. Samsung's clipboard is far more than that. It keeps the history of your copied text, links, images, and even screenshots. So let me just show you. So here's my clipboard. As you can see there, once I tap on it, I've got bank account IMEI numbers that I copied from somewhere to do transactions, names of individuals, screenshots that I have taken, and even when I come way down, I've still got things that have pinned there that are carried on every single day. So it's not just a simple copy and paste tool sitting inside there. But speaking about the screenshots seated here, maybe you haven't turned that feature on. Let me show you how to quickly turn on that feature. So all screenshots immediately come into the clipboard that you can get access to. So this is all you're going to do. Once in settings, you're going to scroll all the way down until you get to general management. Then come to the Samsung keyboard settings and scroll down. Now right here, you're going to see save screenshots to clipboard and toggle that on. That's simple. So now every screenshot you copy comes inside that clipboard. Now the best part of all of this is you can actually return to things you copied a long time ago. And this is just because you actually are able to hold on to whatever you've copied some time back and pin them, up to 20 items on the clipboard. So Samsung does not just remember the last thing you copied. It becomes a memory bank for every important thing you've copied, giving you access to information long after you've copied them. Moving on. The next thing is the Samsung keyboard itself. Most people think it's all just for typing. It's more than that. For example, you can simply swipe across the screen, but yes, somebody's gonna say the iPhone can do it. But then, what of the ability to take two fingers, swipe up to select everything, swipe down to copy everything, move into any space, swipe to the right to paste everything, and even swipe to the left with two fingers to bring out the emoji keyboard. Not only that, but even with three fingers, still do quite similar things. Swipe with three fingers upwards to undo, and swipe with three fingers down to redo, and many more. So it's not just a typing tool. And all these are actually made possible using a model in the Good Luck application called the Keys Cafe. So if you have not used it or explored it, check the top right corner here. I have a dedicated video just for that. So inside it, it contains editing tools that makes life way easier. And you can completely redesign your keyboard the way you want without necessarily downloading a whole new keyboard. That's all possible on your Samsung phone. And don't bring me to these tools that sit here. Your emoji, your own AI assistant that is known as the writing assist sitting inside here. Here you're able to check grammar. You're able to rewrite whatever text you have written, summarize the text, make bullet points and tables, even compositions of messages and everything, all still in your keyboard. You're able to translate immediately, use your handwriting to convert your thoughts into text, select one hand mode like that and have it move to the side that you want. Not even ending there, but you're able to even convert it into floating windows like this, where you're able to type all over your screen at any point in time, so a broken or a cracked screen doesn't affect you. Or use a normal standard one when you could also have full access to your Samsung Pass containing your logins and keys all inside one space. So as you can see, everything is right there in front of you without you leaving your keyboard. On Samsung, the keyboard isn't just a typing tool. It becomes your clipboard manager, your AI assistant, translator, text editor, gesture control, and a productivity hub, all from one place. So the next thing we're looking at is the universal back gesture. On your Samsung, you swipe from either the left or the right of your screen to go back. This doesn't happen in the iPhone, trust me, and you will learn it the hard way. It works almost everywhere across the system. It means that whether you're holding the phone with your left, you're able to swipe this way, or with your right, you're still able to swipe across that way, all for back gesture. And this is for people who are using the gesture mode on your Samsung. Now, even if you're a one-hand user, then it gets crazier, because inside the good lock, when you come into the one-hand operation and you explore this mode, you're able to have almost 6 different things to do with just your swipe back on each side of the phone. Meaning that on each side of your screen, you get short swipes, long swipes, diagonal up swipes, diagonal down swipes, and even long holds, even transforming how your swipes are done. And if you're a navigation button user, then you suffer more using an iPhone, because all you have there are gestures, and in some cases, few buttons in the top left corner. I digress. So the back gesture isn't just an application feature in the Samsung. It's a system level navigation tool that works almost across the entire phone, and Samsung lets you customize it even further. The next one is the separate app volume. On your Samsung phone, you actually get the ability to go into Good Lock, go to your sound assistant, and then while customizing, you're able to turn on your ability to use your dual volume feature. That means that every single application on your phone can have different volumes. You can lower TikTok, increase Spotify, reduce YouTube, and leave your gaming side almost the same. Let me show you. So inside my YouTube, should I decrease the volume to this part? When I come into Spotify and try to turn the volume up, we can see for Spotify, the volume is all the way up. You can see that. On TikTok, we have it all the way up. So you can reduce for each single application without affecting other parts of your device. And it doesn't even end there, because you're able to send particular audios into Bluetooth speakers while other applications continue to play on your normal phone. And all these are possible on your Samsung phone. And if you want to explore this very sound assistant feature, check the top right corner. I've also got a dedicated video there. So Samsung doesn't just let you control your phone volume, it lets you decide which application should be loud and which one should be quieter, and exactly where those audios should play, something you would miss. The next thing is your alarm countdown. When you set an alarm on your Samsung phone, it immediately tells you exactly how much time you have remaining for that alarm to ring. Let me show you. Here I've set it for 12 a.m. Once I tap on it, immediately I get a prompt in here that is 13 hours from the time it is I just tapped on it. But that iPhone does not do that. This feature instantly confirms that you selected the correct day, the correct time, and the correct alarm has been set. Samsung doesn't just tell you when your alarm will ring. It tells you the exact time you have left to sleep or prepare before it goes off. And this might feel like a simple feature, but for me, it's quite important because it helps you gauge and get ready for the life ahead. Samsung multitasking is on a different level. You can split your screen to use 2 different applications, like you can see here, me running YouTube and my notes application. This allows you to read documents while taking notes, use your YouTube while replying messages, and even browse while chatting. And if this is not even enough, you are even able to, with one single application, convert it into a pop-up and then have it floating on your screen, reduce it into a small floating icon throughout the usage of your phone, allowing you to move it wherever you go to and have it active every time on your phone. And the next level part of things is the fact that combinations like this can be stored on your home screen or edge panel as application combinations that can be opened at any point in time that you want, so that the next time I want to open that same combination, I just have to tap this and it opens, or go to my home screen, find it there, tap on it, and it opens. So you're not simply switching between applications. In this case, you are actually using multiple applications at the same time, and this is possible on your Samsung and not on that device. Then we have system level customization. Yes, you can change your wallpaper. Samsung goes much further with the Good Lock application, which you can find a playlist showing you tons of things that have to do with that. You can customize your home screen, your icon, your folders, your lock screen, your always on display, your quick panel, volume panel, keyboard, gestures, multitasking, animations, and even the settings interface. Choosing how you want your settings interface to appear. Samsung customization isn't just about changing how your phone looks. It lets you redesign exactly how your phone works. Another thing you will miss is app sharing. On your Samsung phone, using APK extractors like Xanga that you can find simply on the Play Store allows you to create installation files from applications that you already have installed on your phone. Then you're able to send them to somebody using Quick Share, WhatsApp, cloud storage, USB drives, and almost every file sharing tool. This is especially useful if an application disappears from the Play Store for some reason, or you can't find it anymore online, or you just want to back up a version of that, which is actually a way of helping my US folks to still be able to use the Samsung Messenger after it's been discontinued. If you don't want to download it again, you can back up the current version you have, go into the settings of the application info, and then turn off auto updates, and in case of anything, you are safe. Samsung doesn't just let you send a link to somebody to download an application, it allows you to send the actual installation file itself to the person. Samsung gives you much deeper control over your default applications. Yes, other phones like the iPhone might let you change things like your browser, your email application, but Samsung goes much further. It lets you decide which application handles different actions. So you can even control supported web links automatically instead of particular applications. So for example, let me show you. Should I go into my WhatsApp and attempt to open a particular file like this, I get to select which one I want to open with at that point. So I can select that just once or always. And even in the event I select always accidentally, meaning that anytime I go to open any file of that sort in there, it's going to be opening with this, I still have the ability to go inside the application, there, go under defaults in apps, and then clear the default. Now, when I go to try to open that same, and I'm still going to be prompted again, getting complete control over which applications open which type of files at which point in time. So the advantage isn't just simply choosing Chrome over another browser. It's deciding exactly which application should handle each action and each supported link on your phone. Now, Samsung's My File. It works much more like a computer. You can browse your storage, create new folders, rename files, move items around, copy, paste, compress, extract, zip files, use USB drives through OTGs, manage your storage properly like a computer, and transfer between your phone, external storages, and even a computer with so much ease. This is something you're definitely gonna miss. Samsung doesn't just give you a place to look for your files, it gives you the complete control over where they are stored, how they are organized, and how they are transferred. Another thing you definitely miss is how much freedom third-party applications have on Samsung. The biggest advantage isn't simply that Android has more applications, it's what those applications are actually allowed to do. They can replace your launcher, your keyboard, your digital assistant, your file manager, add floating tools, advanced automation, system-wide gestures, overlay controls, and many other powerful functions that completely change how your phone behaves. Android also allows compatible applications to be installed from approved sources outside the Play Store whenever you choose to do so. So you have total control over the security of your phone. The real Android advantage isn't the number of applications available, it's the freedom those applications have to completely change and improve the way your phone works. And finally, one feature that most people don't even know exists, and this is for my gaming folks: Samsung's ability to pause USB PD charging when gaming. Let me tell you about it. So when you're using a compatible PD or fast charging charger and you're playing a game, Samsung allows you to stop the charging of the battery and dedicates that charging power directly to the gaming that you're doing. So instead, your phone draws direct power from the charger, which means less heat, more consistent performance, and less battery wear during a long gaming session. What is the essence of having great CPU power when you allow heat to get the better part of it? So let me show you for people who don't know. When you swipe down and go into settings, you swipe all the way down until you get to advanced features, then scroll down and you come to game booster settings. Over here you can see pause USB PD charging when gaming, and the only thing is it has to be a powerful 25 watts power coming in before you can turn this on. So you can see it prevents overheating, bypassing the battery when USB powered delivery charger, that's PP supply compatible, that's 25 watts or higher, is connected and your battery is over 20%. So a very smart move. So if you've ever played games while charging, you know your phone can get warm because it is trying to charge the battery and power the game all at the same time. This feature reduces that by taking the battery out of the charging process while you play. Now, Apple does have excellent battery health features like optimized battery charging and charge limits, which help preserve battery longevity over time. But currently, there isn't an equivalent user-facing feature that lets your phone temporarily bypass your battery and run directly from the charger while gaming. Samsung doesn't just try to protect your battery in the long run, it does it in that current state. With a compatible PPS charger, you can temporarily power your phone directly instead of charging the battery, helping to reduce heat, maintain performance, and minimize battery wear during extended gaming sessions. So my gaming folks, this one is for you. Stay with Samsung. Now, does this mean you shouldn't switch? Absolutely not. Every platform has its own strengths, but these are definitely some Samsung features you would miss once you're gone. Let me know in the comment section which one of these are the hardest to leave without. And if there's a Samsung feature you would rather trade for anything else, let me know also that one. But until later, don't forget to hit the like, smash the subscribe button to come back for more, and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss out on any video that I post. On that note, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.